The Upfront Approval Guarantee Program. It's a step above the pre-approval. Everything client-facing is going to be vetted up front. Everything will be approved. That way the client knows they're good to go, so it really does speed up the process.
So Al, we know and we hear a lot in the industry about TBD underwriting or upfront approvals, okay? We know many agents really love to make certain that the borrower is going to qualify for a mortgage before they sign that contract. So how does MortgageRight approach these upfront TBD, if you will, type approvals?
Right. So we have an internal program called the Upfront Approval Guarantee Program, which is essentially is that. And the way it works is it's a step above the pre-approval. So you basically get a client that comes in, and instead of just sending them out a pre-approval letter, you do have the ability of actually submitting that loan up front to our underwriting team. And within a couple days, you can actually get a full approval back from the client. That way you can flush out any potential issues with that borrower, and you can actually send them out a conditional approval instead of a pre-approval, which again, the clients really appreciate. They know that they're 100% good to go, short of anything property specific. And then the agents have a little bit more leverage when it comes time to negotiate on a contract, especially in this environment that they can submit an offer with a conditional approval and actually waive financing contingencies as well to really speed up the process and strengthen that file. So that's a big part of the program.
Right. And so in that case, what you're saying is we will basically underwrite the loan up front without even the borrower having a property yet. So they'll look at their income, look at their employment, look at their debts, all of these things. They do that up front before they've even put a contract on a house.
That's correct. Yeah, everything client-facing is going to be vetted up front. Everything will be approved. That way the client knows they're good to go. And then that way, once they're in the field looking for property, again, they can get much more aggressive when it comes to making that offer. They can waive that financing contingency, and we can close much faster. So we can close in as little as 10 days. And the only items we really got to take care of is really the title work, the homeowner's insurance, the appraisal if it's necessary, unless you do get a waiver. And then, of course, a home inspection if the client wants to get one. So it really does speed up the process.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So I know every time we get a contract in, you're under a time crunch.
Big
and
time.
Everybody's nervous and days go by. So when they do an upfront approval like this, once they do put a contract down on the house, the things that are really important have already kind of been approved and reviewed, right?
Absolutely. Everything's been taken care of, and that does reduce any 11th hour gotchas that may cause a problem later in the process that could affect that client experience. You also get a much bigger commitment from the borrower because mentally they're already in process with you. Another big point that I think is important, especially these days when it comes to pricing and rates, is if you are able to close much sooner, we're actually able to lock that loan on a 15-day lock versus a 30. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but any additional benefit we can offer the borrower to get them a bit better of a deal, I think is very, very important. And I also do want to add that when they're looking at homes, since they're already approved, when we quote them their exact closing costs and their payment on that new potential mortgage, it's extremely accurate.
Yeah, and I think also it would be helpful when there's competing offers. If we've got a borrower who's already been fully approved, that's got to be a lot better than somebody with just a pre-approval.
No, big time. Look, I mean, sellers, when they're dealing with multiple offers, they're weighing their different options. And I think it does give sellers a big peace of mind knowing that that loan essentially is guaranteed. And very quickly, we can get that loan done and, execute. And there's very little friction to do that at that point.
Right. No, and we all know that our reputations are everything. And you can ruin relationships with agents very easily. And I think for me, that upfront approval piece is something that can really, keep your reputation where you want it to be.
No, you're absolutely right.
Because you're never in that situation where, you've got a borrower who's put down a contract on a house and then come to find they've got this or that wrong.
No, you're absolutely correct. And look, I mean, it's mitigating those issues on the front end. You've got plenty of time to either, solve something with income, whether it's credit or rapid rescore, whatever it may be. You're dealing with all that on the front end, and look, the client experience is much better. They're happy. They know they're good to go. You're getting positive reviews. And from the realtor standpoint, it's a really good way to impress them. And they look good. We look good. The client's happy. And that's going to really open up the opportunity for you to talk to them and solicit them more to try to get more business from those realtors and really build up some volume. And when it comes to building a pipeline, using that upfront approval guarantee program is absolutely a game changer. You can just build up that pipeline. You've got clients in the field, and you're essentially just fielding contracts, and you're getting those loans done very, very quickly. And if that loan happens to get kicked out for whatever reason, you're not having to start that file again. You've got the approval in hand. They can pivot to a new property, and you're not missing a beat.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think that's just another example of the company, MortgageRight, really doing everything they can do right now to help their branches close as many loans as possible.
Yeah, everything we can do, that's exactly right. And, the company does spend extra resources and time to do it, but it definitely pays off, especially as, things kick off and things get busier. It's a really easy way for you to do more work and not get bogged down processing loans when you can do it when times are a little bit slower.
Yeah, and we both know there's plenty of companies out there that really don't even offer that kind of upfront approval at all.
No, that's a fair point, and that's, I think, one of the biggest advantages of the platform is they're doing everything possible to try to elevate and help the branches grow and execute and get more loans closed.
No, that's great.